I mean, clearly it's going to be like a Powerpuff Girl thing or something. Oh, wait, there it was. 80 for Power Pull Girl as opposed to Powerpuff. Wait. This is clearly ripped off of something. I don't know what. Music sounds familiar. I guess push start. I'm not sure. Oh. This is the Adventures of Dino Riki. Yeah, I thought it seemed familiar. This is a real NES game, except we seem to be playing as one of the Powerpuff Girls. It's otherwise the exact same game, at least from the looks of it. Maybe the weapon attacks are a little different, but nope, it's Adventures of Dino Riki, plain and simple. Utmost Warfare. I think it's early. Oh, wait, almost past it. Yeah, it's very early in the list here. Game number 22. So, clearly it's going to be a war game of some kind. At least that's what we're assuming here. That's a theme, I guess. Oh, it actually has a demo mode. I am not playing right now. The game is playing itself. Badly. That demo didn't last. Oh, demo's got extra lives. Okay, that's very uncommon for a demo sequence to actually showcase dying and coming back to life. Also, what is going on here? Okay, well, I went back to the title screen and that music's still going. Holy jeez. Okay, start. Okay, we got a colony in space. Go to the Y star. Okay, so B is my shoot, A does nothing, and I auto-fire. I like it when I auto-fire. Oh, these... Oh, these controls. You can't move diagonally. That's kind of a problem. Yeah, you can move left and right and up and down. Well, you can't move up and down very far. But no diagonals. You try to push diagonal, nothing happens. You just keep moving left or right or up or down. Or... Okay, I got tongue-tied there. If you push diagonal, it just automatically assumes left or right, depending on which diagonal you... Oh, do we got power-ups? Hey, we got a spread shot! A game that looks like this and sounds like this has a spread shot! How did that happen? Oh wait, what are we approaching? Is it like some kind of gate in space? Okay, I guess go to the R star next. And now we're back to shooting stuff. Yeah, that was surprising. I did not expect power-ups in a game like this. Oh, now we got, like, lasers! Multiple power-ups. It's not just a spread shot. Now, granted, it's a little hard to tell. Well, that's weird. If I get close to the front, it's like... turns the lasers into weird shots. Did I just grab a power-up and explode? That must have just been a coincidence. Because of how much of the screen is not used up by usable gameplay, like, the whole top third of the screen just is the planets and stuff. There's, like, nothing happening up there. And then you're only allowed to move within the bottom third, so you really don't have a lot of room to move around, given just how much stuff is flying at you. Not to mention, it's hard to tell the difference between all those stars and stuff. Like, none of that stuff there was hurting me. Okay, now we're going to the G star. So I guess a bunch of different stars by letter. It makes me wonder how this game is going to handle, like, different level progression or something. Like, maybe each level just has a letter assigned to it. But yeah, I was not expecting multiple kinds of weapon power. Did I just disappear? Okay, that's weird. If you lose all of your lives, you just disappear instead of explode. That music is still going. That music is gonna drive me insane after a little. It does seem like this first level here is a little easier. Like, it seems like there's just a slightly less stuff to worry about. I'm still gonna try to shoot as much as I can to get as many points as possible, but... So far we've seen, like, a spread shot, a late dual-firing lasers, and I think I picked up something that gave me, like, rapid fire. Gave me, like, multiple shots all in a row or something. Oh, I picked up lasers again. Like, I mean, because there's so little space on the screen, it's hard to tell, like, when you pick things up. Okay, so this looks to be like a rapid-fire shot or something. But then, you have to wonder how useful a rapid-fire shot's gonna be when you consider that there's not really any pattern to these enemies, plus the single shot's pretty rapid on its own right. I think the spread power-up's the one I want here. We know it exists, and the thing is that because of how difficult it is to dodge things, because you don't have any diagonals, right? Without diagonals, it makes it surprisingly challenging. Okay, we got the spread shot. Let's see if we can keep the spread shot, because I got a funny feeling this will make things a lot easier. And picking up an extra spread shot didn't seem to do anything. I think that's the rapid fire. And then there's another spread, but again, picking up an extra doesn't seem to do anything. But like, again, would you expect a game that looks and sounds like this to have multiple weapon power-ups? That's like... That's like next level bootleg homebrew. Oh wait, why did my spread go away? I started the level with the spread weapon and then it just disappeared? What's up with that? Okay, well I seem to have made it past this level. What happens if I like avoid the gate? Oh, it just auto moves me into it. B star is next. I wonder how many stars there are. See, it reset me there again. Of course, this time I didn't have any special weapons, so it didn't really matter. Oh, what actually hit me there? Yeah, when you get hit for your final time, it's just instant game over. Well, not instant, but it's like you just disappear from the playfield. You don't get any explosion effect or anything. Oh wow, I got the lasers literally on the first enemy defeated. So this is just entirely random. Like, it's just randomly tossing enemies at me, randomly deciding when to give me power-ups. And the enemies, it's strange that the enemies can appear literally, like, right down the screen. Also, I don't understand what the B power-up does. Maybe it's just bonus points. Next time I grab a B, I'll try to keep an eye on my score to see what happens to it. Like, if the points are actually giving me extra lives, then that would incentivize picking up the Bs when they do show up. But I don't know if that's happening or not. I seem to start with 5 lives. I got the rapid fire again. There was a beat. Well, that beat was a little too fast, so I didn't see if it actually gave me anything. It looks like it did. Oh, and I did indeed get an extra life at 1,000 points. So is it every 1,000 points is an extra life? Maybe? Like, imagine if you got the laser weapon in Contra, or the spread. Actually, it's called the shotgun. Believe it or not, in Contra, not the spreader, or the spread fire, or whatever, but, you know, we all call it the spread shot, but if you get the spread shot in Contra, you don't lose it just by beating the level and going to the next level. You get to keep it. So, I don't like the fact that this game is taking my weapons away when I switch levels. Yeah, I'm already out of lives again. This game is a little too hard. Like, I mean, it's a pretty basic premise, right? It's just a simple space shooter with a semi-3D perspective, but not really, because it tries to make it look like it's slightly from an overhead, but sort of not, but you're sort of like going into it. Almost like a third-person car view in a racing game, but not, because it's just sprites going down the screen. But it's a little too random, a little too chaotic, and you don't have a lot of room to maneuver, and you can't move diagonally. You can only move left, right, up, and down, so that makes it really hard to dodge everything. So yeah, Utmost Warfare. A little surprising in terms of having weapon power-ups, but otherwise, just pure chaos. Okay, so this is something that was brought up in the comments of the videos so far, is that with Action 52 here, there's 52 games, supposedly. The problem is that there's a couple games in this list which seemingly don't work. One of which being Alfredo, also known as Alfred and the Fettuc, which probably stands for Alfredo and the Fettuccine, if I had to guess. But here's the thing, if I hit the start button here, we just get a black screen. Nothing else happens. So you might be wondering, how the heck are we going to play a game that just locks up? Well, here's the thing. Let me reset the emulation here. So, it's been discovered that the reason these games don't work is pretty simple in terms of just how it's trying to boot the games up and everything. So, there's a way to fix this. In fact, I am going to put the particular Game Genie code that does this on screen right now. So the code to fix the two games in here that don't work properly is actually OKOZETNN. If you put the Action 52 card into a Game Genie and put this Game Genie code in, then what's going to happen, see it says cheat applied because I put the Game Genie code in. When we go to start Alfredo, it's actually going to work. Yeah, there is a game here. How many people knew that? Anyways, we seem to be in a kitchen of some kind, and we have the ability to do that. It almost looks like we're like chopping with a hatchet. Okay, I was about to say, in most of these Action 52 titles, the jumping controls, if you hold the button down, you aren't able to move left and right. That still applies here. But that's such a small jump, I don't know if that's gonna come into play. But in the interim, let's start hatcheting some meat. Because it looks like we're attacking hot dogs and hot dog buns. Maybe. That one just seems to be standing there for whatever reason. Well, I mean, so far this... Okay, I was about to say, so far this seems pretty simple, but... Oh, that's odd. The game only gives you 2 lives? Huh. Well, I mean, if I have to, I can pull out the extra lives cheat again. 'Cause having the game only give you 2 lives is definitely not gonna help matters. Although so far these enemies aren't too egregious. Like, I mean, we're used to Action 52 games where the enemies are just out of control, but so far this is pretty manageable. Just have to be a little careful not to get too crazy. But then so far this level is just repeating the same sort of stuff over and over again. Like, is this level even finished? Is this just gonna go on for... No! We have a pit! We actually have... you know what? Where's my rewind controls? I'm not taking that line down. Yeah. Actually, are these pits dangerous? Yes, they are. In fact, you go off the top of the screen when you fall down them first, and then you die. Okay, well, we're making whoops, that one came out of nowhere. Not to mention, look at the background. What happened to this background here? It's like a sink got swallowed down the hole and a quarter of a cupboard got destroyed? This is kind of chaotic right here. But... oh, well, we got a lot of kitchen hardware in the background there. A lot of electrical outlets too, I've noticed. This is a really big kitchen. Okay, how much longer is this level? Is this music starting to get to me here? Are we near the end yet? Oh, that enemy disappeared. And level 2. And level 2 started us with like a red oven? Okay. So we're facing some of the same... and... oh! I get it now. Alfredo and the fettuccine. Because we're fighting noodles! That's ravioli we're about to cleave in half with our little hatchet there. And that's probably macaroni or something like that. We're fighting noodles. Okay, let's be real here. Most Action 52 titles, they have no merit whatsoever. But there's a little bit of creativity going on here. Because you're playing a chef hacking at noodles that have gone rogue. Like, that's... you gotta hand it to them to at least some degree, that's a little creative. But the execution is anything but. I mean, think about this for a second here. Wouldn't a game like this make more sense as a single-screen game? Where you have a particular level that you're going around, going up ladders and stuff, and then when you clear all the enemies, you move on to the next? Like, this doesn't feel right as a platformer, as a scrolling platformer. I think this would work better as a single-screen platformer, kind of like Donkey Kong or something like that. But nope, this is just very haphazardly assembled, because what else are they gonna do? Other than having repeating knives and drawers and sinks and lights and electrical outlets. Of course, begs the question, oh, we just got to level... there's a level 3. For a game that doesn't work normally, we actually have have a third level with a freaking whatever that was going way too fast. Yeah, what is that supposed to be? So far these enemies were mostly just noodles, and that one got stuck on the other enemy? How does that work? I guess this is supposed to be spaghetti we're fighting now? That's some pretty fast-moving spaghetti. Well, some of it is, and some of it is just like worms on the ground. Also, these enemies keep getting removed from existence. It's kind of crazy just how many of them are just disappearing immediately after getting spawned. It's almost like the game wasn't designed to handle all of these sprites properly. Which, I mean, the game crashed on startup, so who in the world was going to test it? So, taking bets. Anyone think there's going to be a level 4? I mean, it's not impossible. I was expecting this to end after level 2. Because that seems to be the running theme with Action 52, is if a game's not complete, it has 2 levels and no more. Okay, I've been playing this level for a while now, so hopefully we're approaching a level 4? Maybe? I'd like to see a level 4. Maybe it's gonna send us back to level 2. Whoa! What the... Okay, I'm not fast-forwarding. What the heck just happened? Okay, let's take this in together. I've rewound the emulation, so I'm about to end the level. I swear, I am not touching anything right now. What is going on? The game is suddenly going like warp speed. Okay, let's see if we can actually survive this for a moment. Yeah, that's so weird. I have never seen an NES game glitch, and now it just went back to the title screen. What if we started again? And now it's normal again. I have never seen an NES game glitch in such a way as to go ludicrously fast. That was just so strange. And you saw the way the background was shifting too, right? Okay, obviously I don't have a real Action 52 cartridge, that's why I'm playing it emulated, but I am very curious to know if what we just witnessed actually happens on real hardware or not, because that seemed impossible. But then I don't know enough about the NES hardware to know what exactly is going on under the hood that would potentially make that possible in terms of the game updating at that ridiculously high rate. That was just so weird. So yeah, that was Alfred and the Fettuc, or probably more likely Alfredo and the Fettuccine, and yeah, it crashes at first, but if you go into this game using a Game Genie code, you're gonna split the boundary of reality.